Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Look, if you're sitting there right now feeling completely crushed by the weight of your upcoming exams, take a deep breath. You are in the exact right place. Today, I'm putting on my mentor hat because we're going to break down Krishna's incredibly calming, highly practical 30-day strategy for exam prep. By the end of our time together, we're going to transform all that overwhelming panic into a clear, structured, and totally doable action plan. Let's get into it.
The book is open, the pen is in hand, but the mind is running away. Wow, right? I want to validate exactly how you're feeling because we've all been there. You sit at your desk, you open your textbook, and instantly, you're just frozen. Your eyes aren't even reading the words on the page. Your brain is just screaming, how is this ever going to get done? There is literally no time left. It's a paralyzing feeling. You feel totally overwhelmed, and honestly, it kind of feels like you've already lost before you even started reading.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The real cause of paralysis. Why your brain freezes.
So to solve a problem, we really need to understand the root of it. What is actually making your brain shut down? I want to ask you this direct question, and I want you to really think about it for a second. Why does your brain freeze when you open a book? I mean, you know how to read, right? You've sat in the classes. You know the language. So what is physically stopping you from simply reading the next paragraph?
Well, the real culprits aren't the academic concepts at all. The source reveals that you aren't actually struggling with the study material in that moment. What you're struggling with is the immense weight of external pressures. You're fighting the fear of failing and what that future result means. You're fighting the heavy pressure from your parents' expectations. And you're fighting that constant, exhausting social comparison of wondering if everyone else is miles ahead of you. These thoughts flood in all at once, and your brain just says, nope, too much, let's shut down.
You are not running from studying. You are running from pressure. I really want to reassure you that your reaction is completely natural. Seriously, anyone would freeze under that mountain of mental weight. The key here is to detach from the fear of those future results. You just have to let go of the final outcome, because honestly, you cannot control it right now. What you can control are your daily actions, your daily karma, so to speak. Once you detach from the final grade and focus only on today's honest effort, that crushing weight, it really starts to lift.
Moving right along to Section 2. Breaking the syllabus illusion, or as I like to call it, shrinking the monster.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we're up against. The illusion is trying to win a 30-day war in a single afternoon. When you open a book and try to imagine the whole 30-day timeline at once, of course you panic. The reality is so much simpler. The reality is just winning today's battle by doing 3 or 4 small, totally manageable tasks. You've got to stop making a massive goal that takes a whole month into today's enemy. We just need to focus on the immediate task at hand.
Let's put this into perspective. Imagine a massive physics chapter. If you sit down and tell yourself, I have to finish this entire chapter today, your brain shuts down. But a chapter is really just a puzzle made of 5 smaller pieces. Understanding the concept, practicing the derivations, solving the numericals, analyzing the graphs, and finally doing a revision. You absolutely do not need to finish all of this today. Today, your only job might just be step 1, understand the concept. That's it. Tomorrow, you tackle the numericals. Shrinking the task down makes the impossible actually possible.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 3-slot daily method. Consistency without the 6-hour burn. So now that we've shrunk this syllabus down to reality, we need a daily system to conquer it, right? This is a highly practical, beautifully simple structure. Here is your entire daily game plan, just 3 slots. Slot 1 is for a new topic. You spend about 40 to 60 minutes here. And remember, the goal isn't to make perfect, color-coded notes. The goal is perfect concentration and pure understanding. Slot 2 is dedicated to revision and numericals. This is where you strengthen the foundation of what you learned yesterday. And finally, Slot 3. This one is for your weak topics and that dreaded backlog. It's dedicating a specific, contained time to tackle exactly what you normally try to avoid. It completely takes the fear out of catching up.
You know, so many students try to achieve consistency through pressure, basically forcing themselves to sit for 6 miserable, stressful hours. But true consistency, that comes from clarity, executing just 3 honest slots a day. And here is the most compassionate part of this entire strategy. If you have a bad day and you only manage to hit 2 slots, it is totally 100% fine. You just pick up the 3rd slot tomorrow. Having a clear, calm target is far more effective than just beating yourself up.
All right, Section 4, the 10-minute starting rule. Bypassing the brain freeze.
So the crucial point is, even with this beautifully clear 3-slot plan, we have to acknowledge a universal truth. Starting is always the hardest part. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you're paralyzed at your desk, it just doesn't matter. So the magic number is 10. When you sit down at your desk, you should never, ever promise yourself that you're going to study for an hour, or 30 minutes, or even finish a whole chapter. You just promise yourself that you will sit there for exactly 10 minutes. That's it. Because the goal isn't to study. The goal is just to start. This is a proven psychological trick. When you lower the pressure to just a 10-minute commitment, your brain stops fighting you. You bypass the panic entirely. And the real magic is, after 10 minutes of low-pressure action, your brain naturally opens up. The friction disappears, you get into the flow, and suddenly finishing that entire study slot feels completely possible.
Now, for Section 5, master 80% over perfection. Smart studying wins.
As we look at the final 30 to 40 days before an exam, we need a major mindset shift. I want to warn you right now, chasing 100% completion in the final month is a trap. It will actually freeze you up further and hurt your final score. This number right here, 80%, this is your new best friend. Mastering 80% of the syllabus, combined with incredibly strong, confident revision of that material, is vastly more powerful than perfectly failing to learn everything. We are going for quality and retention over sheer panicked quantity.
Picture a panicked student trying to learn every single brand new topic at the last minute, completely overwhelmed. Now contrast that with a smart student who is prioritizing familiar topics and only touching the completely new ones lightly. The source uses a brilliant analogy for this. To win a war, you don't need to pick up every single weapon on the battlefield, you just need to confidently wield the right weapons. In the final stretch, smart studying always beats more studying.
Bringing us to our final section. Section 6, You Are Not Failing. A special message to 10th and 11th graders.
I want to take a moment to speak directly to the 10th and 11th graders watching this, or really anyone who is feeling the crushing weight of impending board exams. Listen to me very carefully, mentor to student. You are not late. You are not failing. You just briefly lost direction. So many students view exam stress as evidence that they're a failure. But actually, scratch that. That stress is evidence of your dedication. The simple fact that you are here, actively seeking out explainers like this one, looking for strategies to improve, that proves you have the desire and the dedication to succeed. You just needed a map to find your way back on track. Be compassionate with yourself. I want to leave you with one final empowering thought. Will you take just 10 minutes today to start winning today's battle? Don't worry about the final result. Don't worry about the whole syllabus. When this explainer ends, I want you to close this window, sit at your desk, and just give yourself 10 honest minutes. You have the strategy, you have the clarity, and you are entirely capable of taking that first small step. Go win today's battle.